Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Today is Thursday, May 8, 2017. And I'm your host, The Truth Buster. And I want to thank you for tuning in for another edition of Truth Buster News. With that in mind, do you know what today is? Today's another day we survived. Of this crazy, insane, corrupt system that each and every one of us, one part of the globe or another, live in. And speaking of the corruption aspect, it never stops. Every day, an hour, more corruption is coming out. You got the whole ongoing endeavor to impeach Trump by the liberal, democratic, insane, communist left. And on top of that, you have Trump's continuous actions. Now you're probably wondering, what do I mean by that? Well, if you look at the evidence that has came out in light of his actions since he's been in office, and the things that he's flipped on, and the things he has said, put two and two together, and you come to a conclusion. But on this briefing topic, I read an article on Blacklisted News where a retired Green Beret wrote an article on shftplan.com. So I'm going to read the article. And you tell me what the deal is. Which probably the same thing that is included in this article. A retired Green Beret warns the successful derailment in Trump's efforts is well underway, and war is inevitable. Authored by Jeremiah Johnson, a retired Green Beret of the United States Special Forces. In previous articles, I mentioned the importance of midterm elections and how to run the country effectively and to be re-elected. The president needs success in his first 6 months in office. Although he is more than willing to make changes and has demonstrated that his good intentions, the battle with the enclosed Marxists labeling themselves either progressives or centrists is being lost. Why is it being lost? It is because these prior Obama appointees in the circuit and the Supreme Courts, along with innumerable holdovers within the administration's machinery, effectively amount to a fifth column bent on sabotaging the president's efforts. The successful derailment is well underway. As I wrote before, all that is needed for the Democrats to take the Senate and the House back in the upcoming midterm elections is for the president to not make visible or productive changes within the first 6 months of his term. The stultified public will perceive it as a failure, and with the Rhino, Republicans in name only, party to help with a shove here and there, the president will fall right into the pool. The planned border fence will not be built. the repeal of Obamacare will not take place. The flood of illegals will neither be stopped or reversed. And financial measures to stimulate the domestic economy are being implemented at glacial speed. All the president's executive orders are being struck down by the Obama-appointed judges in the courts. There is not much time remaining before the midterm congressional elections. We are a year out, and even before the campaigning has begun, it appears it'll be up for grabs. Obamacare is the best example of what has been outlined. Aetna recently bowed and pulled out of the machinery as far as private insurance companies run. They stated that the arena was unattainable and that the firm could no longer underwrite with the budgetary shortfalls and the nebulousity that lacked a demarcation of where government responsibility was to pick up what the company did not underwrite. From an economic perspective, everyone with a brain knew that Obamacare would not function properly and would be a financial and administrative disaster. That is why Obamacare is a success. It was meant to collapse the system and the insurance companies, forcing into existence a single-payer system and a government exchange that intruded on the lives of every citizen. And this is pure Cloward and Piven at its finest. The Republican Party is responsible for the continuance of Obamacare. Nobody's focusing upon this fact. Right now, everybody's focused upon Comey and a potential tie-in with Flynn and any connection to Russia regarding pre-election campaign communiques between then-candidate Donald Trump and the Russian leadership. Obamacare is all but forgotten. With the Republicans in control of both the Senate and the House, at this point, the bill to repeal Obamacare should have already been passed in both houses of Congress and been on the president's desk to sign. This was not done, and the Republican Party is to blame. If the president is unable to make a change while he has both houses of Congress under Republican control, what will happen after the midterm election changes the complexion of Congress and makes it Democrat? How will he be reelected, and if so, to what end? He waited too long to fire Comey, a name that will torment us in the news even more than that of Natalie Holloway. And it is now turning around to bite him. What is the solution? War. War is a means an administration uses to sway public opinion and garner the Congress and the other nabobs into lockstep under the guise/choice of you're either patriotic or unpatriotic. Force upon all of them in the court of public opinion and on the media stage. War is supported by the Congress, who is bought and paid for by the military and industrial complex, Wall Street, bankers, the elite, everybody else, and the oligarchy, and their army of lobbyists. The administration is not accomplishing anything effectively, but a war can rescue it from its difficulties and divert the public's attention. There are several theaters that can easily metastasize into a full-blown conflict, and then draw other nations for an all-out war. To catalyze such actions would be a simple feat for any administration. With the resources of the United States backing it, the question remains to be answered whether the administration will take such a step to save itself. And it goes on to say, history proves out a high probability that an administration will do such. And the Carter administration, with Desert One, the failed Iranian hostage rescue attempt, with Reagan, the Grenada endeavor, Margaret Thatcher of Great Britain with the Falkland Islands, Bush Sr., the globalist scumbag that he is, the first beginning of the Iraq War, Clinton with the bombing in Serbia, the war in Bosnia, And also Libya, overthrowing Gaddafi. And you might want to throw Somalia in there as well. And with Bush Jr., the continuance of all these wars across the Middle East and other parts of the world. Will this administration take similar measures in any of the powder keg theaters of Ukraine, North Korea, or Syria? The question remains to be answered, and the probability is high, and that answer will be yes. And I agree. And here's the reason why. The whole situation with the scumbag, now former FBI Director James Comey, yes, he was most likely on the Clinton payroll because he kept stonewalling the investigation. But that's another topic for another day. But while this distraction is going on, and in the backdrop, nobody looked at the investigation in the mainstream media of Seth Rich and how his laptop was connected to WikiLeaks, sending WikiLeaks all the dirty laundry of the DNC. But I seen a draft report today that the Republicans in the Senate did not pass the documentation for the Obamacare repeal. And it will probably have to be rewritten and looked over once again, and probably never make it again, never even get close to the president's desk. But here's the big enchilada that hardly anybody has mentioned at all today. While all these distractions and other situations are going on, once again, the U.S. military bombed Syria once it's in attack. Because supposedly, Syrian military forces crossed over into a zone they were not allowed to set foot in. So at the closing of the article I just read, with the high probability of war coming to our doorstep, that answer is yes, because hell, we still got the issue with Korea going on. Now, we're going after Syria once again. So you be the judge. Tell me if I'm wrong from what I read and from what I gather from it. You have all these things going on. To divert the people's attention from the major events that are taking place. I want to thank you for tuning in. And thank you for surviving another day. We're here for another day. We can thank God for that. So in the meantime, continue to prepare for what's coming. Survive another day. And God bless.